Okay, everybody, here we are. Week 4, last week of the class. This has been a real pleasure to read all your work this semester, and you had so many cool ideas for your nonfiction books, which I'm glad you like them. It sounds like you like them as much as I do. I'm actually desperately afraid of spiders, like bad. And so my granddaughter, though, loves spiders, which is how I found Jumper. And it's been a good book for helping me face my fears. So, yeah, thanks for all your work. Let's see. Once again, we're coming up to, I always have to record this kind of before the end of a week. So, coming up next is your Make 3, where you'll do some interesting work, I hope, lesson planning or making multimodal projects for your nonfiction books. You did a great job with the multimodal for Make 2. And thanks so much for trying out new platforms and trying new things. They turned out great. And I got new playlists out of it. So there you go. So here we got coming up into our last, it's really only a 4-day week. Our class is done on Thursday of that last week, whatever the date is. What's the date? 26th, 25th? Can't remember now. Wait, I have ways to look. What's the date? It will be the 25th. The 25th is our last day of the class. So I've given you a little time. I hope you're starting to read your author choices. Some of you chose their children's books, which is totally fine. So you don't have a ton of reading to do. But others of you chose their prose or their novels. And so you might need a little more time to read. So I'm hoping you're reading those this weekend. And then I gave you Monday to finish up, reading some of those books. Something like Brown Girl Dreaming, which is one of my favorites, by the way, from Jacqueline Woodson. I wouldn't expect that you necessarily read the entire book, but you're going to, read enough that you can say something about her approaches to her books. So you have kind of 3 big assignments next week. So you're going to do the reading, and then the response is a little more involved to those books, because I'm asking you to do some comparison across, it's an actual author study. So you're doing some comparison across those texts, and there's some options. And then our make, which is actually going to be due Wednesday, this time invites you to think about curating a resource for how you might teach with these books. And I've invited you to use Adobe Express, and I made some templates, and I hope you take me up on that because it can look really cool. But if not, you can do it in Canva, you can do it in a Google Slides, whatever makes sense to you for curating resources around teaching these books, and then saying a little bit about how you might teach the books. And then we're going to put that make on a shared slide deck, and I have a link to it. So you would link, you got to make sure you publish the thing to the web, all those things, make sure people can see it. And then you'll have, hopefully 34 resources that you could use in your own teaching if you bookmark that slide deck. And then finally, you'll end on Thursday with a reflection and a manifesto, where I want you to reflect on everything you've thought about over the last 4 weeks around the teaching of reading, your own reading practices, what you hope for your students. And that ends with a manifesto, where you give me some bullets of this is what I believe about the teaching of reading. So for example, you might be I believe in choice. Students should have some choice over what they read. So a number of bullets you have is completely up to you. It could be 3, it could be 30. Average is students have 8 or so bullet points. Before you write that reflection, I'm going to invite you to watch Mac Barnett's TED Talk, which is just a delight to think a little bit about storytelling and the roles of stories in our lives and the lives of our students. So, so next week is a little heavy, in terms of things you have to produce. So a little bit longer response for how you teach it, a make that we're going to share with each other about curating resources around these authors, and then a reflection. The only other thing I need to say is that everything does have to be done by Thursday at midnight, because I'm going to get up Friday morning and grade, and I've got some other work stuff. I will have finished up that week with EOP Summer Bridge, and then I have a Summer Institute with teachers coming up, so I have to get grading done that Friday, so we don't have any wiggle room. So I do need you to hit the deadline. You've been doing pretty good about that, and I certainly haven't minded if people turn stuff in 24 hours late or whatever, but this time you have to hit the deadline. So if I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday and it was there, that's fine. I won't 11:59, but you have to hit that. And I'll send some reminders about that. I'm going to try to enjoy a little bit of time in the yard today. Look at my yard is just coming alive. So I live, on 40 acres, kind of in the middle of the country. So the yard saves me. I feel very fortunate. Hope you're all having a good day, and thanks for all your work.